Alex, I'll bring you back in. I know you also spent time in Ayacucho as well as Juliaca. One of the allegations that has been thrown at the government and the security forces is, this use of excessive force, use of live ammunition. A lot of the dead in their autopsies were found with, the bullet wounds from live weaponry. Alex, you looked into a couple of cases in Ayacucho. Just take us through how you developed that reporting, to try and piece together what had really happened on the ground. There was obviously a lot of uncertainty. There was a lot of, a lot of different takes from different sides, from the government, as you're all saying, calling a lot of the protesters terrorists, and the view from the protesters themselves. But tell us how you picked that apart and tried to distill it, Alex.
Yeah, so we went to Ayacucho in December. So that was a few days after, it was the first large-scale death event that happened there. And there still wasn't kind of a lot of information about what had happened. And the military, kind of what they put out was, that there was this clash at the airport, and one of their units got attacked and they were forced to use lethal force. And that was kind of, what was out there when we went. And then, we decided to go to the airport, and we had the sign that said international press on the car. Photographer and the videographer were out taking some shots, and some just passerby asked me if I was international press, and I said yes. And he was like, do you know that they killed a bunch of people down at this corner? And I was like, no. And he was like, well, I can show you the bullet holes and the bullets. And then we went down there, and then coincidentally, and then a story started emerging about kind of that conflicted with what the official military account, that, there had been this fire, there had been a lot of shootings at that, out in residential streets for hours after this kind of protests at the airport took place. And that's, we met a woman who was having a mourning event for her brother who got killed. And, she was saying that they were just kind of in their house that day. And yeah, there was bullet holes outside their house. And she said her brother got shot right outside there when he was trying to help another protester. And a lot of people had similar stories. So I noticed that there was kind of security cameras around, and a few of them belonged to the local municipality. So when we went there, and then they gave us the footage. Conveniently, the one that would have captured all of this was not working. So then we went looking around, and then I found a store that had a security camera, and it took some negotiating and talking with the woman to telling her why we wanted the footage. We weren't police, we weren't investigators, we just kind of wanted to show everyone what happened. And in that footage showed this man kneeling over this protester. Everyone runs away, and he gets shot while kneeling down and falling. And that footage went very viral in Peru, and all the local newspapers picked it up, and they questioned the president about it too, because it was it was a very simple image that very much disproved kind of what the narrative had been, and this narrative that Samantha was talking about that was so easily kind of placed on this city, these people that have long been looked at by the capital, by people in Lima as, with that history of terrorism, with that lens. And they were very quick to paint those deaths and the protests with that broad brush. And then this kind of started breaking that down. So that was our main kind of story that did there. And I remember, I think as you do, it was right before Christmas. And I think we published it on the day after Christmas, maybe. But then, yeah, and then Juliaca, it was kind of a similar tale there about just kind of this widespread, this one day that things just got out of control, and that led to a massive death toll, and just kind of the value of going there and trying to piece together what happened when there's so much chaos, and find one or two kind of events that kind of tell the story and try to bring more light to what happened. And it kind of, what's interesting is that the December event was already, 4 months ago, and people are still clamoring for justice. That despite this evidence, there has been no, what a lot of families say, no kind of progress on investigations, or they haven't been told what's going to happen.
Thank you, Alex.